Okay, let me test this right quick to see if I can also record here. Testing, 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 testing. Okay. All right. But I can't move it around. All right. Okay. In alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. In fact, this is, am I even going to be able to do this? Yeah, I will. In alhamdulillah wa salat wa salam ala wa rasulullah. We're continuing with our topic of the signs of the last hour. And today what I want to do is focus in on the Antichrist. How as Muslims, when he comes, we're not supposed to fear him. And also what I want to speak about is a summary of the purpose that Jesus will serve. Now, again, guys, every religion speaks about the return of Jesus. What purpose will Jesus serve when he comes back? This will be discussed today. And also, we spoke about the Antichrist. We talked about how when the Antichrist comes, the people will believe that he is God, Allah himself. Allah will use the Antichrist to be a trial to see how many of us truly believe in him. Okay? And how will Allah use the Antichrist as a trial? Well, by the miracles that the Antichrist will appear to be performing. Again, as we talked about on the quiz, he will come during a time in which the whole world is besieged with war. There'll be suffering, hardship, starvation, drought on every part of the planet. So he will come at a time and will convince the people through his trickery that he is God himself, because he will appear to make things happen that will end their suffering. For example, he will order the sky to bring down rain, and it will rain after experiencing a drought. And so the people will accept and believe that he is Allah because he did that. And for those who reject him and for those who refuse to believe in him, their suffering will continue so badly, and so many of them will die out, that this is why, most of the world will be for the Antichrist instead of against him. There'll only be a few people who will see through his antics. Only a few people who claim to be Muslim will see through the antics of the Antichrist. Okay? Also, many people will be led astray. Those who doubt will disbelieve, but those who believe will be strengthened in their faith. For those Muslims who do truly believe that he is the Antichrist, they will be the strongest of believers at that time. And Allah did not tell us the name that the Antichrist will have, because Allah hates this man so much. And he did not reveal his name because he wants us to know that even though this man will cause such havoc, he's really insignificant. He's an insignificant person. So he is not mentioned by name in the Qur'an because he is too insignificant. But Allah lets us know that he is not God. He is only a man who is a liar and a deceiver amongst the people. Okay? And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentions him. He says the Antichrist will emerge in a land in the east called Kusaran. His followers will be people with faces like hammered shields. In other words, he's talking about the Mongolians. He's speaking about how the Antichrist will emerge in that part of the world. And he will be supported by people of the Mongolian people. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said the last hour will not come until the Muslims fight the Jews and kill them, to the point where a Jew will hide behind a tree or a rock, and that rock will say, "Here's a Jew." Also, guys, the Jews will be supporting the Antichrist. Because remember, the Antichrist will come after the world war takes place. in which the Christians, the United Nations, will support the Muslim lands. The Antichrist will emerge then, right after that, supporting the Jews. So his biggest supporters will be the Jews, and he will have Mongolian people supporting him as well. And we talked about how our prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taught us to protect ourselves against the Antichrist by reciting the surah, the first 10 verses of the cave. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Say, O Allah, we seek refuge with you from the punishment of the hell, from the punishment of the grave, from the tribulations of life and death, and from the tribulation of the false Messiah, which is the Antichrist." This is a supplication that should be recited. This is a supplication that should be recited after the final tashahhud of every prayer. When you're making salat, you recite the final tashahhud, you should seek refuge from the Antichrist. Okay, so the surah of the cave, and also that little short supplication will serve as a protection for those of us who truly believe in Allah and fear Him. Okay? Also, we spoke about how living in Mecca or living in Madeenah, the Antichrist will not be able to go into Mecca or go into Madeenah. So anyone who happens to be in Mecca and Madeenah will be protected from him, because Allah will have angels standing at the gates of Madeenah to keep him out, and also standing at the gates of Mecca. So anyone in those areas will be protected from the Antichrist. And again, the Antichrist is just a man. He is not an animal. He is not a god. He is not an angel. He's not even a jinn. He's just a man created by Allah to be a test for us. And many will be led astray from him, and many will be guided as a result of him too. They will say, "Oh wow, he is definitely what Allah warned us of," and that would cause their faith to increase. And he will conquer the world country by country. He will travel the world country by country, getting people to support him and follow him. And he will not be destroyed by anyone other than Jesus. Jesus will be the one to destroy him. When Jesus comes back, he will destroy him in Jerusalem. So again, those are the things that Islam teaches us about the Antichrist. He's not to be feared. The believers don't fear him. Okay? And now what I want to speak about is the descent of Jesus. Just go over some facts about Jesus when he comes back. I want you guys to understand, when Jesus comes back, he will not come back as a prophet. He will come back as a leader. Not only as a leader over the Muslims, but he will be a leader, will become the leader over the entire world. Okay? And when the first thing that Jesus will do when he arrives is he will destroy the Antichrist. After the Antichrist is destroyed, the people will live for 7 years in which there will be no enmity or no hatred. Remember, this is the time of war. The Antichrist will have promised the people to end the war and make things good, but he won't come true with any of that. Okay, but Jesus will. After Jesus destroys the Antichrist, he will bring about peace. The war will end. The suffering will end. Okay, the people will be able to live without famine, drought, and all of that. Okay, so Jesus will be the one to bring about peace. And also, you guys know, when Jesus comes back, he will destroy the cross off of every church. Why will he destroy the cross off of every church? Because this will symbolize that there is no Christianity, that he never died on a cross. He never died, period. Jesus will establish Islam to be the religion of the entire world. Everyone in the world, in every country, will accept him as their leader. And every person living on earth will convert to Islam. So Islam will then become the religion of the world. Okay? So it will not be until the descent of Jesus that the entire world becomes Muslim. And again, where's some hadiths on this? Well, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the son of Mary will come down as a just leader, not as a prophet, as a leader. He will destroy the cross and kill the pigs. Peace will prevail, and the people will use their swords as sickles. Every harmful beast will be made harmless, and the sky will send down rain in abundance so that the earth will produce forth its blessings. A child will be able to play with a fox and not be harmed. So again, that shows the peace that Jesus will bring. And again, this is the dalil that he will not come as a prophet. He will come back as a leader of the world. Also in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the son of Mary will come down amongst you as a just ruler. He will destroy the cross, kill the pig, and abolish the Jizyah tax. The Jizyah tax is the tax that the non-Muslims pay to live in the Muslim lands. There will be no reason for them to pay that because they'll all become Muslim. Also, the Prophet said money will be in such of an abundance that no one will care about it. In other words, we'll be done with all that suffering. Okay? So Jesus will be the one to bring about all the peace, not the Antichrist. Also in another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the prophets are like brothers. They have different mothers, but their religion is one. I am the closest of all the people to Jesus, because there is no other prophet between he and myself. He will come again, and when you see him, you will recognize him. He will be of medium height, and he will be reddish white in color. He will be wearing 2 garments, and his hair will look wet. He will destroy the cross, kill the pig, and abolish the tax, the non-Muslim tax. And he will call the people to Islam. And during his time, Allah will end every religion and every sect other than Islam. And Allah will cause the Antichrist to be destroyed. Then peace and security will prevail on earth so that the lions will be able to graze with a camel and not be harmed. And the Prophet said Jesus will remain for 40 years as the ruler, and then he will die. And when he dies, the Muslims will pray for him and bury him. And that's when the next of the last signs will appear. After the death of Jesus, that's when it will get even worse. Because after the death of Jesus, that's when the last hour becomes really near. And we're going to stop right here for today. Tomorrow we're going to continue by speaking about what happens after the death. Have any questions or comments? Inshallah, you can go ahead and type them on the screen. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayka. Okay, any questions or comments? You can go ahead and put them up there on the screen.